Alright, so today on Castlevania Legends, we're going to the very frequently appearing Clock Tower. And by the way, the new soul weapon, fuck it, back to wind. Time has stopped. So, it's the same type of soul weapon as the stopwatch. Anyway, yes, the Clock Tower. Now, even if I wanted to use our new soul weapon, which is ice, apparently, according to this walkthrough I'm using, I would have thought poison or water first, but whatever. But yes, the main reason I'm not using ice is because wind is actually incredibly useful in the Clock Tower, because this is a very vertical-oriented stage, and I'm gonna be honest, attacking from ropes in this game kinda sucks, or balance chains in this case, I guess. Either way, though, I'm not a fan of it. It's usually a bit unwieldy, and, like, anything coming at you is going to have the advantage. Especially since the only enemies that really use the chain itself, in this case the mermen? Are those mermen? I don't know. Whatever they are, they kind of just burp up fireballs every once in a while, but, like, they're probably the easiest enemy unless they just come out of nowhere from the top of the screen while you're climbing, but otherwise, they're easy to kill because they're just trapped on the rope. So, like, whether you're on the rope or not, you can kill them pretty easily. But every other enemy, yeah, they can just kind of wiggle into your general position, and then, bam, you get hit, so. As such, for moments like this especially, wind is, I think, your best option. I think it's very helpful. Ice, on the other hand, can be useful if you're doing, you know, your own playthrough. Not so useful to me, though. You're not going to be seeing it in the LP. Ice is actually your heal of the game. It is a full heal, so if you're running low on health, use it. Alternatively, you might run into a pit and just die instantly, but hey, assume that's not going to happen. The downside to it is that it is the most expensive soul weapon in the game at 20 hearts. It is very pricey. And, oh my god, it's a mini-boss! Oh, what are we gonna do against this Wyvern, I guess? I'm not seeing any arms outside of the ones on the wing, so I think this is a Wyvern. Either way, whip him until he flies up and shoots fireballs, move under him, then move to whip him again. Congratulations, you figured him out. You've puzzled out the mini-boss, and he dies as quickly as he was introduced. But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to be using ice no matter what. That's not to say it's not useful, being the only heal skill in the game. And I don't think there's actually wall chicken. I can't recall any anyway, so you actually don't get any other heals, I don't think? No, actually, no. I think I'm just not remembering meat in this game because I don't really need it in these videos, but I'm pretty sure there is meat. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that, but yeah. Anyway, though, either way, a heal when you need it, provided you have 20 hearts, is very helpful. That being said, though, even at 5 hearts a pop, wind is starting to get a bit costly. This is a stage where I had a pretty big drain in hearts just because of how often I was using them, but I mean, like, I kinda had to. There's so many cheat tricks here. We're only now getting to a really horizontally focused section of the stage, and it works out a little bit better, though I'm still a little heavy on the time stops, I believe. But yeah. Oh, and music-wise, you know, I'll be honest, after re-listening to some of these songs as I go through this LP, you know, when I listen to the songs and, you know, watch the video over before recording them, I'm actually kind of digging it more and more. Like, after editing, I really kind of like Stage 2's music a lot more. It's this very interesting kind of like spooky ballroom kind of theme, which is neat. I think Stage 3 might be one of the, oh my god, it's an ambush, oh my god, bats! Anyway, Stage 3, I would say, is one of the weaker songs, but even then, it's still pretty good. It sounds almost upbeat, which is the reason, god, this is such a nothing ambush compared to the one in Stage 1, but anyway, yeah, like the white candles, that does nothing, but anyway, yeah. It's rather upbeat for a Clock Tower theme, but it is pretty catchy. So when I say one of the weaker songs, do understand that that does not mean bad, it just means I still kind of like the other ones a bit more, but this one definitely has its charms. Very cool song, though, I will say. This is where we're going to be getting the next sub-weapon, of course, and I think this might be just my highest concentration of time stops because of just how terribly everything respawns, if I'm remembering this stage correctly. The merfolk aren't so bad, it's just the guys down there that are the problem. And yep, here's the dagger, which looks kind of like a sword here. Actually, no, that's not too bad. I'm getting this confused for a vertical section later on. Either way, though, do be careful of respawns, even if it's not as bad as I thought. Because it can still catch you by surprise. Things do respawn rather easily in vertical sections, and it's honestly a pain. I do not care for it. Anyway, though, I think I've gone over everything I want to in the stage, so what about Dracula? So last time I mentioned, you know, the stuff that happened in between Lament of Innocence and Legends, but I kind of glossed over Matthias, who just became Dracula, because, you know, Castlevania is not a coherent story. It's just, they put things on a timeline, and the game's kind of connects a little bit well, just because most of the stories are Kill Dracula, but, you know. Lament of Innocence tried to introduce an earlier Dracula, named him Matthias, and, you know, even though Legends is technically non-canon, so they gloss over it, it is still really weird that he's just like, alright, I'm Dracula now. But anyway, his big event isn't actually until, I think, the 1970s. I don't believe a date has been ever set in stone. I'm just going by the wiki information, which said sometime in the 70s, I believe. Or did I say 1970s? Or it's 1470s, you know. A little bit after Castlevania Legends happens, but, you know, hasn't happened yet, so really, at this point, Dracula's still mad at God and not much else. Kinda humans by default, you know, being the god worshippers they are. But I would like, of course, to mention a few things that I found when looking up Matthias. I think I mentioned this in the Lament of Innocence LP, actually. I can't recall if I did, but whether I did or not, I would like to bring to the table his theme in Lament of Innocence is Dracula appears. So, very to the point, the OST naming. He's not Dracula yet, but we all know he's going to be Dracula. I mean, what, is it going to be Walter instead? Just imagine Walter doing any of the fucking Dracula voice lines. It was not by my hands that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. Actually, to be honest, I do kind of wish Walter appeared at some point, if only to hear that voice again. I'm rather fond of Walter's weird voice acting. It kind of rules, even though it's also kind of dumb. The other thing, though, that I wanted to point out is Matthias's partnerships, which I just found kind of, you know, funny wording in. It lists Leon Belmont as close friend, then enemy, which, you know, makes sense. But then, of course, there is Death, associate. And what do you know? There's Death now. There's the old associate of Dracula. I'm sorry, I just love describing Death as an associate, it's just kinda funny. What's also funny is, Death is usually the hardest fight in the game. He really isn't here. He kinda just leaps back and forth and sometimes throws a scythe. And yeah, that's it. He's very easy. See you later, Death's dead. We did it.